Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for clicking that button and joining me for today's video. I hope you're all well. Right, ladies and gents, so we've all got brew kits. We all like to bring them out into the woods, flash them about and show you guys just how epic they are. But in my honest opinion, the term epic is thrown around far too loosely to describe things that are just merely okay. Such as, oh, last night's episode of EastEnders was epic, and oh, that new sugar-free tasteless monster they've just released is absolutely epic. And last night with your mum was absolutely epic. I mean, these things are just merely okay, and I don't even watch EastEnders. Now, my brew kit is truly epic, ladies and gents, and I'll tell you for why. Because my brew kit is paired with an EK Archery Research Revo 7-shot repeating takedown crossbow with tactical red dots and 3x optical magnifier. That is truly epic. So guys, how are you feeling about your epic brew kit now? Still happy with it? Let me show you what true epicness looks like. Right, ladies and gents, so let me introduce you to the most epic woodland cut kit in the world. But first of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about the bag, because this is an integral part of the kit, and this is supplied from EK Archery for the Revo 7 crossbow. So first thing I do like about this pack is it is very unassuming. It just looks like a black sort of satchel. We do have a couple of pockets on the front with some molly webbing. That can be easily removed for extra stealthiness. And we also have a net pocket just on the side here, which is currently holding my microphone gear. We do have a Velcro patch for your badges here. The only letdown is the blaring EK Archery Research in white across the top. As you can see there, I have a very failed attempt of trying to cover that up, but you can probably put some black gaffer tape across that just to get rid of that. That is embroidered as well, so it's not, oh, it's not, you could probably scrape that off, to be fair. But the pack is okay. It's not you know, top tier. It's made out of some sort of polyester. The zips I've held up so far, not too bad. And there's some very loose threads throughout the actual bag, but you know, it's holding together so far. As you can see, the dimensions of the pack are minimal. They're not too big, and I will say it is very, very comfortable to carry. I've carried this in today with all of the provisions to make an extra sexy cup of delicious coffee in the woods, and some extra sexy fun also. So very, very minimal padding on these straps here. Again, the threads are starting to show, so how long this will last is anyone's guess. As long as we don't overload it, I think that'll be okay. But yeah, surprisingly comfy carrying that in. Let's get into the first pocket. So delving into the first zippered pocket here, we have the main components of the brew kit. Extremely lightweight, ridiculously lightweight, and we have a couple of instant coffees there. So the burner for this is the Des Catty. You've seen this on the channel before. This is just a basic fuel burning stove, and then we have the prototype folding British military stove here. It does have a name, but I honestly cannot remember it. Fantastic stove, again lightweight. Burner just sits in there. We have a temp peg just to elevate the burner, the cup off the burner, and that is surprisingly efficient and fast boiling. So in the back of here we have a couple of slip pockets where I keep all the ammo for the Revo 7-shot repeating crossbow. These are the heavy bolts, field target bolts. Plenty of them to have fun with in there, and we have the standard supplied bolts as well. These are the lighter ones. You can see there they've had a bit of wear and tear. I'm hoping all this is in camera because I cannot see the screen. So that is that pocket. So plenty of space on this pack to add all your necessary bits and bobs for a day in the woods. Going into the top front zippered pocket, and before we do, I'll just mention, if you are looking for a new bushcraft knife or field knife, go and see this guy. This is Feared Woods, Josh at Feared Woodland Blades. He makes absolutely fantastic custom wares. You'll be extremely happy with, and I own a few of these now. I couldn't be happier, so go and check him out. Go and check this guy out as well. If you're not already subscribed to him, I want a reason why, because, you know, don't be cruel. So, zippered pockets. Up here we have the magazine, 7-shot magazine for the Revo 7 with the bolts already installed in there. We also have an extra string and some rail grease. Now going into the main compartment of the bag, as soon as I start unzipping this, you should start hearing angels sing. If you can't, it's because I couldn't find the free soundtrack, so I'll do it myself. Oh, that just looks naughty as it is, do you not agree? I feel like Hawkeye, but with a crossbow. Oh my word. Now, in the main compartment, we'll first off start with my bottled water. So we have a camo bag there, and we have, I think this is Swedish or Finnish, one of them. So we have a small cup here and about a litre's worth for 900 ml of water. Perfectly adequate for today's fun in the woods. Also in the main trunk we have a small Trangia bottle with fuel for the stove. Absolutely fantastic. Right guys, this is where it gets absolutely epic. So before we do that, I'm going to make a brew and then we'll get back to it. Right ladies and gents, so the thing I love about my brew kit, my epic brew kit, is just how little fluff there is inside it. You see a lot of these epic brew kits and they contain all sorts of crap you just don't need for a brew in the woods, such as hot lips and titanium spoons that weigh the same as a gnat's left bollock and you know, all that sort of stuff. So this simple burner, just fill that with some fuel. That'll be absolutely adequate. Burner goes in, fire steel and Josh's knacking, and we basically just strike. And we get one in there eventually. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, should have brought some hot lips. Still epic though. Now ladies and gents, what remains in the pack of epicness are the remaining components that make up the epic Revo 7 crossbow. So first of all, we're greeted to buy not one but two crossbow limbs secured in by fastening Velcro straps. First one being the 90-pound limb, which is what is supplied with the actual crossbow. But with me being greedy, what do men want? More power. So we also went with the 120-pound limb, which is absolutely lethal. This one's lethal. This one is more lethaler than this one. Not going to be using this one today because I will not be retrieving the bolts from the trees. So we will go with the 90. But the absolute fantastic aspect regarding the Revo 7 crossbow are there are no tools required. Each part of the crossbow, this being the butt, is secured by push fit and pins. So again, no tools required. In the two back pockets, first of all we have the main body of the crossbow. Absolutely stupid design, love it to bits. And that just slips neatly in the back. And then we have the top rail featuring the military red dots and 3x magnifier, which flips out of the rail. Epic stupidness again, I'm sure you'll agree. But this all fits together with practice in under 1 minute. I am not practiced, and this is the first time this has been out since purchase, so we'll demonstrate putting that together in over a minute's time. Right, before we carry on with the assembly, if you do see any wet patches or dribbles around my nostril area, just rest assured that is pure epicness just leaving via my face. Cheers. Right, let's try and do this as quickly and as professionally as possible without looking like a total newbie, because this does spend most of its time on my desk just looking pretty. So let's crack on. First of all, we'll install the butt. So again, this is all push, fit and pins. So all we need is something hard. Take one of the bolts. I'm just going to use the tip, take the body. Very easily assembled, he says. So push the pin out. Push the pin in. That's the butt installed. Then we have the £90 we'll go with. £90 limb, slips on the front, like so. Pushing the pin out again, you silly Burke. Again. That slips in. Pin slips back in. That is the limb installed. Then we go for the top rail. And there we have the crossbow assembled. Magazine slips in from the left. Simply, and you're up and ready to go. That is now armed and ready to fire. Let's put that on safe. Now, I have had the red dot on auto, so every time that senses movement it comes on, and I think it's died. So we're at close proximity to a down dash here. We've got good backstop at the back here, so I'm just going to demonstrate quickly the firing mode using basically just a magnifier open like this is in touch. So here we go, firing. So there we go, ladies and gents. That is one of the small bolts fired from the crossbow, and as you can see there, plenty of penetration still, even with a £90 limb. And if we offer another bolt up to the side of it, you can see there we've got around an inch and a quarter penetration into this ash. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to get this back without exerting a stupid amount of force, which is the bloody downside of these things. Well, ladies and gents, on this occasion we were successful in retrieving the bolts. That's not always the case, and I do have a board at home full of these because I just can't pull the bleeders out. Let's have a closer look at the bolts. So here we have one of the bespoke Revo 7 bolts, ladies and gents. As you can see, it's around 8 inches long. Well, that's what my missus thinks 8 inches looks like anyway. Around 5 inches long. We have some rubber vanes on there, a half moon knock. The main shaft is carbon, and then we have a heavy tip on the end here. They do these in various guises. We have the light target ones, which you get with the £90. These heavy ones are recommended for the £120, and I have also just purchased some bodkin tips, some medieval goodness there. But there you can see, more of a dart than a bolt, but these are again bespoke to this crossbow. Loading the bolts into the magazine is very simple. Push in, clamps together like so, and again this will accept 7 bolts. Now, when it comes to shooting the crossbow, we do have 2 modes of firing. First one being the fully semi-repeating mode, where you can basically just crank down the lever like I shown you then, emptying that magazine. The second one, if we engage the safety on the side, that will require you to disengage the safety after every shot, making it a bit safer in the hands of a young one if you choose to let them shoot this absolutely lethal tool. Now, when it comes down to sights for your crossbow, in the pack you will receive a basic red dot. That will slip nicely on top of the Picatinny rail here, on top of the crossbow. I've chosen a different path of optics. Mine's a dual optic setup here. This is from AliExpress, and this is the Civilife red dot and 3x magnifier. Now these have proven to be very popular in the States, with people putting these on AR-15s and other rifles such as that, and they are quite popular and highly regarded really. The thing that makes this quite popular and appealing, we have the magnifier, which does slip out the way, as you can see there, exposing the red dot, so you can sight manually through this and then magnify it with that. We do also have small equipment rails on both sides of the crossbow, maybe for thermal, infrared torches, things like that. Now if we accidentally cock the crossbow, we never want to fire that dry, because that will, one, damage the limb and damage the string. So EK Archery have included a safety release catch which fits in the bottom of the grip, and that will enable you to disengage the string and put the limb back to where it should be. Now as you can imagine, something like this is not going to come cheap. Currently these are these are currently retailing in the UK for around £409. If you're not happy with the red dot that comes with it, extra expense is going to be spent on new optics. The bag is also going to be an extra purchase, because that did come as part of a deal when I bought it, and I think the bag retails for around £40. The downsides to this, the ammo is expensive. The heavy field target bolts inside here, which are required with the £120 limb, costs £34.99 UK for 10. So you can imagine, if you're firing them in things you ain't going to get them back, then you know you're going to run out of money fast. But saying that, as this comes out of the box, is absolutely fantastic. It offers great performance with the £90 limb on the front, included with the 10 sort of field target tip bolts you get with it. I've managed to pull them out of the trees today with only one casualty, being my finger, and one bolt. So yeah, fantastic. Epic. Well, ladies and gents, that was from around 12 meters away. No red dot, just looking through the magnifier, and that is pretty much where I placed it. So question is, do I actually need the red dot? Oh, bollocks. Right guys, so that pretty much wraps this video up. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the world's most epic Woodland brew kit. I've certainly enjoyed playing with it today. I've had a lot of fun in the woods with my brew kit. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It costs you nothing, but helps the channel grow and all that schnizzle. But until the next one, you stay safe, and as always, stay crafty. See you again guys. Bye bye. You can bleeding stay till later.